So let me show you guys the best way to store your passwords. So what's up guys, it's Josh back with another video, and today I want to show you guys a password manager that I use and highly recommend called KeePass. Now KeePass has been around for a very long time and I've been using it for a very long time, and that's mainly because it's an offline password manager. And this is totally different from those other password managers that are out there that store all your information in the cloud, like 1Pass, which they were just in the news a couple months ago, where their information was stolen by a hacker. And in that video I talked about KeePass and I said I need to cover it again, and the last time I covered KeePass was like 2019, and I wanted to go on and do it again, especially since I got a couple more subscribers on the channel, you know what I'm saying. And it's definitely important that you protect your passwords, because that basically protects your livelihood or everything, your banking accounts, you know, all your different accounts, social media accounts. You know, you can store all those in one location that's offline and not in the cloud somewhere. But I'll show you guys a little bit more once we actually get into it. So let's hop over to the website for KeePass. I can show you guys how to get it, and then I'll show you guys how to install it on Linux. And then of course you can install it on Windows. It's very simple. I don't need to show you guys that. All it is downloading the exe, installing, and then open up the application. But I'll show you guys on Linux if you're new to Linux, and then I'll show you guys how to actually use it and store your passwords. So let's get to it. Before we move forward, I wanted to give a quick shout out to CIQ, the official partner of Rocky Linux. Rocky Linux is a Linux distribution that is intended to be a downstream complete binary compatible release using the Red Hat Enterprise Linux operating system source code. The project is led by Gregory Kurtzer, who was the founder of the CentOS project. So check out Rocky Linux at ciq.co. Alright, cool. So I'm at KeePass.info, and there's two different versions of KeePass. There's KeePass, and then there's KeePassXC, which is KeePassXC.org. And I'll have both of these links down in the description of the video. The reason I recommend KeePassXC is because it was developed in C++ and it runs natively on all platforms. That's the major difference. But let's look at the KeePassXC website, because it gives you a lot more information on the site. Now it says KeePass cross-platform password manager, never forget a password again. And let me kind of explain how it works. It basically has a master password, or you can create a master key, or you can put that key like on a USB or something like that and point it to the database, or once you open up the database, connect that USB and then unlock your database that holds all your passwords. And while it's locked, you know, the database is encrypted. It's using like 256-bit AES, you know, standard, so it's highly secure. You just want to keep it locked when you're not using it, you know what I'm saying? That way if you do get some type of malware, they can't unlock it unless you unlock it yourself. That's the only way they can unlock it and get to access to all your stuff. Now it says securely store passwords using industry standard encryption. Yeah, and that's what I meant by the 256-bit AES. It says quickly auto type them into desktop applications and use our browser extension. So they do have a browser extension. I really don't use it, but that's a quick way to get your passwords in the browser, you know what I'm saying, by using that browser extension. And you have to unlock it obviously the exact same way. You know, it's not going to be always unlocked. It'll be locked until you actually need it. You need to unlock it, and then boom, you can get into your passwords, you know, and add them to the sites or whatever, so you can log in. But on the site, it recognizes that I'm using Linux, so that's why it's bringing that up. If you're on a Windows system, it'll say download for Linux for Windows. You know, macOS, same thing. Now encryption, it says complete database encryption using industry standard 256-bit AES, fully compatible with KeePass password safe formats. Your password database works offline and requires no internet connection, and that's 100% true. You don't have to be connected to the internet in no kind of way. You ain't gotta, like with 1Pass, if you don't have no internet, let's say your internet goes out, or you can't access the website for whatever reason, you lose access to your passwords at the end of the day. This is an offline version, you know what I'm saying? This application is offline, 100% offline, don't need no internet. Now, cross-platform, this is what I meant by this version, the XC version versus the regular version. XC version, it says every feature looks, feel, works, and is tested on Windows, macOS, and Linux. You can expect a seamless experience no matter which operating system you are using. And one cool thing about it, all you had to do is install KeePass on whatever platform you're using. And let's say you create a database, and let's say you want to go from Linux back to Windows or something to that effect. You can install KeePass, copy over that database, open up that database from the newly installed copy of KeePassXC, and it looks exactly the same over there. You can open up your passwords, use them the exact same way. So that's what I meant by the look and feel of it. You know what I'm saying? You can do the same thing with the other one as far as moving the databases back and forth between two operating systems. It just won't look exactly the same. It'll look the same with KeePassXC. You know what I'm saying? So open source. Now, one cool thing about it, and with all applications, I love to see this, you know what I'm saying, the full source code is published under the terms of the GNU General Public License and made available on GitHub. So it is on GitHub. You can use, inspect, change, and share at will. So you can actually take KeePassXC, create a branch or something to that effect, or clone a repository, make changes to it, create your own application from there, as long as you follow those same guidelines under the GNU General Public License that they set on the application. But it's free to use, inspect, change, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Now, the latest version was released, KeePassXC 2.7.4. It was released on October 29th, 2022. I'm sorry. So last year, a little bit, a couple months ago, that's when the latest version. Now, just show you guys a couple screenshots. We don't need to really go through this because I'm gonna show you guys the application, but that's what it looks like. It's super dope. I'll show you some of these features, you know what I'm saying, that are shown here, but it's super dope. And then back on the project, I went here. This just gives you a little bit more information. It's a quick start, features list, basic information or basics of the actual application. One cool thing I use a lot is the password generator, so I could generate complex and totally different passwords using that password generator. So it's super dope. And then we got some advanced features as well. This covers like the database, how you can export it, you can format it, all that good stuff. UB key, only key, challenge response, support, auto open databases if you want to, key shared databases so you can share them, synchronize them, all that good stuff. And then also the GNU key ring, so that's freedesktop.org secret service, so you have that as well. SSH agent integration as well, so if you connect to a lot of Linux boxes and you want to keep all your keys or passwords and all that stuff stored there, you can as well. So super dope. Now just showing you guys the requirements, and these are basically dependencies of it. You can use snap package, app image, all that good stuff. Now I won't go through the rest of it, but you can check out their website. They have a whole bunch of information here. They got a blog, which is where I told you guys that new release happened, and then docs and frequently asked questions if you want to check that out as well. So documentation, you can get on the documentation, check that out, as well as the frequently asked questions. Super dope. And then the team, you can check them out as well. These are all the developers, super cool. Now let's go down and hop over to my virtual machine. We can get KeePassXC installed. I'll show you guys a little bit about the actual application. Alright, cool. So we logged into our virtual machine. This is Ubuntu 22.10, which is that short-term release in between the long-term supported releases. And I just want to show you guys how to install it. Super simple. I'm gonna open up the terminal. Now let me show you guys the software center. So if you go into the software center, you can see both of them, or both of those applications in here, and I'll show you guys once we get to it, because it's taking a little time to come up. I think I ran some updates on here, a little while back, so it should be fully up to date. But if not, we'll go down and run some updates on it, and it looks like there are some updates. But all you got to do is search for it, and you can just type KeePass and search that, and it should bring up both of them. Yeah, it brings up KeePassX. That's another one. I forgot about that one. But the KeePassXC is the one I want to show you guys, and it should have brought up KeePass, and maybe not. So I guess it's not in a repository, so you have to get the KeePassXC from here. Okay, so let's click on KeePassXC, and I just want to show you guys a little bit of information, you know what I'm saying. And it's, like I said, it's super simple. You can download it from here, and right here is in the Snap Store. You can install a Snap package if you want to. I'm gonna install a full package, so, well, not the full package, but the regular package. So all you gotta do is search, and first let's update the system. So sudo apt update, boom, and then let's run through and refresh the repositories right fast. Sorry about that, I typed in my password wrong. So there we go. All right, so we got 10 updates. Let me go down and run these updates because I typically recommend that people go down and run your updates before you install new packages or whatever on the system. And if this takes long, I'll just skip ahead, so I'll be back in a second. All right, cool. So our system is up to date. Now if you want to install the snap pack from the command line, all you gotta do is type sudo snap install, and then KeePassXC, and you can tab that out. That'll install the snap pack. So if you want to install it that way, you can. I'm gonna use apt just to go down and install it, but sudo apt install, and then KeePassXC, boom, and we can run that, and that'll go down and install, you know, KeePassXC with all its dependencies and all that stuff. And if this take a little time, I'll go down and skip ahead, so I'll be back in a sec. Okay, cool. So KeePass is installed on the system. We can go down and exit out the terminal, and we can go search for the application. It'll be under here. All you have to do is click on KeePass, boom, and this is what you'll see when you first get it installed. Now you basically have to create a new database, and if you already have one created, like I was saying, how you can move your databases between different operating systems, all you gotta do is move that database, you know, over, find the location that it's stored, that you stored it, because when you create a new database, it's gonna ask you where you want to store it. So as long as you know where that's stored, and like I said, it's encrypted, all you gotta do is bring it onto the new system, hit open existing database, and that'll search on your system for that database. And all you gotta do is open it up, hit open up, and it's looking for a KeePass2 database. And then once you open it, it'll ask you for the password and all that stuff, and you get to go. Now all you gotta do, like I said in the beginning, is create a new password. You can name it whatever you want. Like you could just leave it passwords, you can change it to whatever to make it kind of unnoticeable when, let's say, people are looking on your files, so you ever get hacked. You can name it like I don't know, kitchen. Let's say you want to name it kitchen, so someone that may be looking through your files, they'll be like, what is this kitchen file? You know, this kitchen, they'll just kind of pass it over, you know what I'm saying, but you know what it is because that's what you named it. But yeah, we'll just leave it passwords for right now, but you can kind of make it whatever you want it to say, you know what I'm saying, and then you can put a description if you want to, but as long as you know what it is, you know what it is. Hit continue, boom, and then the decryption time. So this is your encryption settings. Here you can adjust the database encryption settings. Don't worry, you can change them later, and that's true. You can go into the preferences of KeePass and change the settings on your database and how you wanted it stored, and the higher you put it, the more it's encrypted. You see what I'm saying? I'm gonna just use it in simple terms like that. The higher you put it, then the more encryption will be used on it. Now the database format, you can modify this if you want to. They only have two, the KDBX 4.0, and then this is an older version, of 3.1 version, but 4.0 is the best one and it's recommended. Now you can go into the advanced settings, just show you guys. You can change the encryption algorithm if you want to. Two-fish, you can use cha-cha, whichever one you want to use. AES is the standard and recommended, and then the key derivative function, you can modify this as well. I would recommend it. I would use the recommended version. Transform rounds, memory usage, parallelism. You can use the different threads, and then you get benchmark right there. Simple settings, you can go back to that, and that'll take you back to where we was. So all we have to do is hit continue there, and what you want to do is put a password on it. So this is where you store your password. So hit continue, and then I hit continue, my bad, I hit cancel. But this is where you add your password. So you can make it whatever you want. I recommend you make it something you can remember, not something you've used anywhere else. Like if you used it, I don't know, if you use that same password to log into your Facebook account get figured out, the password get hacked, you know, in some type of data breach or something like that, then people will have that password, and they're definitely going to try it. If they really trying to hack you, they're definitely going to try that password on here to see if it unlocks it. So never use whatever passwords you set here, never use that anywhere else. So make it, you know, as complex as you can, you know, where you can remember it, or you can write it down and put it in a safe deposit box or something to that effect, if it's kind of a little strong, just to make sure you remember it. So I'm gonna just name it password 123 for me, and then password 123. And yeah, I'm gonna just put something simple in there. You can add additional protections. So if you click in here, you can add a key file, so you can have a key file that contains random bits for additional security. You must keep it secret, and sometimes people put this like on a USB drive with this key file. And then you also have the YubiKey options with the challenge response, you know, all that good stuff. Now I'm not gonna play around with any of that, I'm gonna leave that free, but that's those options that it showed on the first screen. So let's hit done there, because we just gonna roll with a password, and then you can specify where you want to say it and save the actual or the database. And this is what I meant by as long as you understand where it's saved at, you know what I'm saying, then and you name it something weird or something different, you know what I'm saying, like Jordan's or something, I don't know, whatever you want to name it, and then you can store it wherever you want to store it, and you just know what it is. So hit save, that'll save that actual file, and now we're ready to use KeePass. Now let's make this thing a little bit bigger so you guys can see a little bit more on how to use it. All right, cool. So the first thing I want to show you guys is setting up groups. So over here, this is a group. So there is a root folder, but in order to create another group, we have to go up here under group, hit new group, and let's say we want to name this our banking or online banking directory, and this is where we're going to store all our passwords for all our different banking. You know what I'm saying? This is the way I recommend people do it. So online banking, you can put notes in there if you want to. You can do let's see, searches, let's see, inherit from parent group. You can make changes to all this stuff. That'll help you. You can also set an icon, like they have some cool icons in here, which, you know, I think is super dope. You can select something that's dealing with banking. You can also add something in here, use a custom one if you want to. Let's see, what looks like a bank. Let's use the percentage sign, that's fine. Now you can go key share if you need it, and then the properties as well, but we're not going to mess with any of that. We're just going to create that group. Boom. So we got our online banking, you know, area, and this is where we can store all our stuff. And then let's create another group. So new group, and let's do social media. Boom. And then press OK, because I'm not gonna make any changes to it. And actually it put it underneath it. I didn't mean to put it underneath it. So let's add it to our root to make it a main group. And so under there, this is where you can create all your different accounts. So all you have to do is hit the plus now. So once you got your online banking set up, just hit the plus. Boom, and that'll create an entry. And let's say ABC Bank. And then now you want to put in your username. So whatever your username is. So John at I don't know, it may use some personal email. So john@gmail.com. We'll roll with that. And then this is where you can create your password or add a password that you already created. But I always recommend you use the password generator, especially if it's a new account. So if you click on that little box with the lines on it, that'll open up the password generator, and then you can create a password. And super cool, as you can see, you have a whole bunch of settings when it comes to passwords. The character types, you can extend the ASCII, the length. That makes it way more complex, and you can specify what you want and don't want. Let's say you only want a password with lowercase in it, with or uppercase. I'm sorry, I deselected that. So just uppercase with numbers as well as special characters. Then you can unselect that. You know what I'm saying? But most of the time you want to select all of them just to make it complex as possible, and especially since you don't have to remember it, you can do it as long as you want to. You can specify, like, let's make it 25, or let's say the bank that you're using requires you to use a certain number. You know what I'm saying? With certain places you go to or websites you go to, it requires a certain number of characters for the password, and so that's something you can actually do. And then once you select it or figure out that's the one you want, you can just hit apply. And one thing I forgot to show you guys, if you hit this will regenerate a new one. The little circle right here, that'll basically refresh, create you a new one with those same settings that you have set down here. So, and you can refresh until you pick something you like, and then hit apply. Boom, that'll add that password there. And then obviously you could put in the email address. So this is abc.com, and actually let's use something specific, because I wanted to show you guys something else that you can actually do with it. So let's go to Bank of America. All right, fast. I just want to get their link. All right, fast. So let's type in Bank of America. And it's mainly so we can get their link. I don't use Bank of America. I just kind of want to show you guys this right fast, so you can get the actual link of their website. Now let's minimize that, and let's put this URL in there, because that's where this password is associated with. Well, this fake account username and password is associated with. And let's go down and actually change the name of this to Bank of America. Boom. And so we got the name of our account that we created, and this is the expiration. You can set an expiration. I'm gonna leave it unchecked so it doesn't expire, but yeah, you can set an expiration, and then you can put some notes on there. So let's say personal banking, I don't know, whatever you want to put there, or it could be a business banking account. So all you have to do is press OK if you're done. But I wanted to go here and show you guys something right fast. So they do have some attributes you can add to it, attachments if you want to. We're not going to play around with that, but you can do a custom icon, and you could download the favicon from Bank of America. So by us putting the link to the website, what it's going to do is download the favicon from Bank of America. So all we have to do is hit download. Boom, it'll pull that in. And then if you don't have any other settings you want to change in here, like they have properties, they have auto typing. If you want to, you press OK. That will add that Bank of America account. You know what I'm saying? And so as you can see, it's got the little favicon in there, and that's easy to recognize what you're looking for. That's why I wanted to show you guys that. That's super cool. Once you add in the link or the URL, it'll download that favicon, for Bank of America. Boom. And then let's say you want to do your Facebook, same exact thing. You put facebook.com in there, download the favicon, and it will have the Facebook icon there. But that's essentially how it works. You know what I'm saying? KeePass is super simple. Like I said, now you can delete if you want to delete that entry. I'm not gonna delete it, but they do have a recycle bin, so it won't fully delete it until you go in there and delete the recycle bin or remove everything from the recycle bin. I'm not gonna delete it. You can modify it. This is just that modification button. You can copy as well. So this will copy the username to the clipboard. This will copy the password to whatever you have selected, to the keyboard, and you can paste it into the web. Now, right here is copy URL to clipboard if you need to copy that URL. And then also here is our perform auto type. So once you at that website, you can perform the auto type. So super dope. Now, while this thing is open, or while you're not using it, let's say you left it open or something, but you can just click lock database. That'll lock the database, so it's always locked. You know what I'm saying? You can just hit that, and that'll lock the database. You know what I'm saying? The only way you can get back into it is if you put in that password. What was it? Password 123 or something like that, I think. Yeah, and there we go, and that'll unlock it right there. And then also it has a timeout as well, so if you leave it open, I can't remember how long it is, it may be like 5 minutes or something, it'll auto lock the database. So that's awesome to actually have that. Now let's say you want to just open up that password generator without, you know, messing with any accounts. You could just use that whenever you want to generate and pass a password using the password generator, you know, on your computer. Now here are some of the settings, so you can go through this and mess around with it, and it's very straightforward. I'm not gonna, you know, play around with it. And that's one thing about it, like right here, this timeouts, this is super dope. It'll clear your keyboard after a certain amount of seconds. So once you copy something, you know, it'll clear it out your clipboard, so it's not stored there. So that's super dope. Lock database after inactivity, so you do have to turn this on. I thought you could leave it. I thought it automatically did that, but maybe I went in and made those changes to lock mine. That's why mine locks all the time. So lock database after minimizing the window. You know, it's just a whole bunch of like cool features in here for you. And then the browser extensions or browser integration, so you can specify, you know, your changes for that SSH agent, key share, some of those features that, you know, it kind of talked about as far as application settings for this system. So we can close that, but there are, you know, a lot of those same features like up here where you can just click them. Now one cool thing, they do have a merge. You can import, you can export, you can merge. So if you have your databases in, or if you have your password stored in another, you know, format or something, like a 1Password vault. Let's say you want to migrate to to KeePass from 1Password. You can import your vault. You know what I'm saying? You can export to a CSV or HTML file, you know, something to that effect if you want to migrate from KeePass. So whatever. Or you can merge a database. Let's say you have two different databases, you bring them together on one system, you can merge those databases. And you could possibly look for duplicates, you know, at that point as well. So tools, so a lot of these features are already down here, so I'm not going to go through them, but you do have themes. I always like the dark theme, and then you can do compact mode, you know, hide passwords, hide username. Hide passwords, that'll hide them, you know, so you don't see them in the list. That's just changing up the view. And then also you have your help, and that'll point you back to all the help that you can get from the website. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like I said, KeePass is an awesome tool. I definitely recommend it for you storing your passwords for all your different accounts. And all you have to do is remember one password, and you'll have access to all your passwords. And you can also move this thing around, you know, manage it. And then one thing I do, I take that database and I back it up, you know. So if something does happen to my system, I have a major crash or something like that, I can always get my passwords. And you know what I'm saying, I have my own like little personal share drive that's not connected to anything. You know what I'm saying, it's behind a password, so you don't have to worry about some type of malware or ransomware or something like that can encrypt all your stuff in your system and you can't have access to it no more. I have it stored on my NAS, you know, behind passwords, and you know, it's already encrypted, so I don't worry about encrypting it. But as long as I don't lose that, then I don't have nothing to worry about. But go down and like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I definitely appreciate all you guys that support the channel. We're definitely growing. I'm looking to hit 20,000 in the next couple, you know, weeks or so. Hopefully we hit there pretty soon. Just go down and like that video, share it. You know what I'm saying? It's some good information for people that want to protect themselves online. I definitely appreciate you guys. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day and productive week. And of course, keep it techie.